Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here. Welcome back to some Mechwarrior Online news. We've got the patch notes, and I'm going to be doing a review, and that, of course, is for May 24th of 2022. And let's go ahead and dive in. Now, this is a post-patch review, so it's already came out, and I'm a slacker. I apologize for not having this ahead of time. I totally missed it over this weekend, but this actually gives me a little bit more perspective on some of the things we're going to talk about today, which is in the patch. So let's go ahead and read here some words. This patch has been a long time in the making. Some of the features included in this update, specifically the event mode queue and skill tree improvements, have been in the works for almost 2 years. There's a lot included in this patch, so take your time reviewing the patch notes and have a great time exploring the new features. And if you enjoy them, tell a friend or 2 or 10. Included in this patch are new event mode queue, which we're going to talk about in length, skill tree improvements, and we'll talk about that, quirk display, information update, new platinum collection mechs, quirk pass, weapon equipment mech allotment adjustments, and a lot more. All right. And of course, coming in June, we've got the Crusader mech and a new quick play map and more. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Just a friendly reminder, we have new designs up on the store. That's right. The Stone Rhino, Warhawk, and new Marauder designs are live. Make sure to check those out. Link will be in the description below. Let's go and just jump into the event queue. Now, this is sort of the big one here. The event queue. Now, to be fair, if you're watching this video May 25th, there's some issues with the event queue, mainly the drop deck. If you are in a clan faction and it uses only IS mechs in the event queue, it can create some issues. You have to swap and all this. It's a little bit of a mess. So they're aware of that. There are some things that you can do. You can switch factions or go to like a merc, and then you can use either or. You can go to a clan faction, fill out your drop deck, go to an IS faction, fill out your drop deck, and then it should let you use either or. But here's a few things. The event queue, my initial thoughts and everything, really fun. We had a blast last night doing it. The main problems are what I just talked about, and wait times, because people were having so many problems with the drop decks and not being able to go in there, or there's some other stuff reported of dropping in a mech and then it just not showing up, and then that player isn't in the match. So you can imagine. What is the event queue? The event queue is pretty much PGI's labyrinth. They can do anything pretty much. They can do 4v4 solos, groups. You can do a drop deck. Drop decks, by the way, are similar to what you saw in faction play, which is they can allow 1 mech. They can allow 2, 3, or 4, which is basically respawn mode in that case, where once you lose one or eject, which, by the way, you can eject in event queue. All you got to do is hit kilo on your keyboard, and you can eject. So if you run out of ammo, maybe you're critical and you just want to eject, hit K, by the way. So this mode is fantastic. It can be conquest. They can do multipliers for ammo, mech speeds, everything you can think of pretty much is in here. The only thing they can't do is limit individual weapons, but what they can do is limit to assaults and heavies, or like last night we were doing mediums and heavies on Conquest, 8v8, 6v6 as well. We tested that with 1.25 speed multiplier, unlimited airstrikes and artillery and cool shots, and I had an absolute blast. The respawn functionality makes Conquest very, very dynamic, where, winning fights and then spreading out, getting caps, or winning, the early game and then respawning in a different mech. So it's a completely different experience. I've never had that type of fun and enjoyment, and I had that last night. So the event queue is a really cool system. Now, again, because of the bugs, I've told them, just in chat and stuff on Twitch, which, by the way, I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch, I would hold off until they can get this fixed, because it is a blast. It's fun, but people like myself sitting in queue for 20 minutes and no matches, not cool. So I think that there's some hurdles. They need more awareness towards the event queue. They need to fix the bugs before anybody will even take it serious. And then, I think having some fun with it and bringing experiences that we don't have in quick play, and also potentially using it for some testing to see what people really enjoy. But I will talk a lot more about this when the bugs are fixed and cover matches and so forth. But absolutely a really cool experience. It's relatively easy to check out. Like I said, they can do this on the fly. That's another big thing is the event queue. Last night they went from 6v6 to 8v8, and it only took like a minute before it switched over. And then we tested 8v8 and the same thing. It was absolutely fun. Now there are some things that I don't necessarily like, and I've given feedback on the PTS and so forth, like here, which is the armor things get a little weird. We had a it was like 100 or 50% armor increase on the PTS. The problem is hit detection gets weird, and it doesn't show that you got a hit until you go past like stock armor. So there's some weird ones. Also, the speed multiplier 1.25 or higher, things moving above 175 kph. I think we're seeing some hit reg issues. So from that, the cool thing is they can see what gets broke and what doesn't as far as gameplay. Same thing with like cooldowns and stuff. But overall, it was an absolute blast. And so, again, if you had no idea this was a thing, there is a button at the very top of the screen. It's replaced Solaris. It's called Event Queue. Now, that thing may not be there when you see this video because the event queue is time-based. They can turn it on and off. The current one, I think, has like 2 hours left in it. So if you're watching this video, it's already gone. And I hope they get the bugs fixed before they put on another event, because I think it's, a lot of people are missing out and then getting the wrong impression for it. So there's that. All right, next up we're going to talk about is skill tree improvements. And let me just say, it's a quality of life adjustment that we've needed for so long. I did a video on this. Now we have it live in the game. It's great. Now, there's a catch to this. They said, yes, you can use your mech as is right now without having to mess with anything. You can do that, right? Don't go to the skill tree. Just play the mech and it'll work as intended. The catch there is, if you had nodes that you didn't really need, like reinforced casing and so forth, that you only had selected because you had to in the old one, those are still in effect. Okay, so when you go to click skill tree, this message is going to pop up. You're going to have to respec it about 20 nodes if it was maxed out, around 20 nodes. Now, the good news is it's quick. The bad news is you're still basically having to respec, a third of the skills, and you're going to have to do it for every single mech that you play. That's the reality. Now, the trade-off there is, and this is full, like, trying to be as fair as I can, there was no alternative. If they would have done like we already have historical XP, and then you'd have had to and then there was no benefit. And I even said that back in the day, if you had to respec the entire. Now, the good thing is, if you want cool run, it's one click, boom, done. If you want heat, heat nodes, one click, done. And I've done this on stream. It's really, really quick because I know exactly what I'm going for pretty much on the builds. And now I get to get things that I didn't used to be able to get. For instance, I can get speed tweak pretty much on every single mech again. Anchor turn, hard break, stuff like that. My mech is feeling great. So that's really awesome. So altogether, this has been a great compromise. And it is a compromise, keep in mind, because they didn't introduce a new system. I think that would have been great. But that's not what they did. They chose to go this direction. And it's really quick. It's really easy to be able to do. The drawback is you have to, again, respec your mechs. And two, it is bigger. It looks more intimidating. Now, talking about this, I feel like I need to do a longer video, but there's been some concerns from players talking about power creep and it's making mechs better. Yes, it is, hands down. Your mech will be better. But so was your mech years ago before this skill tree. And we all got speed tweak. You didn't have to do anything. You just earned it and unlocked it and boom, there it is. What I urge is see the forest through the trees. And what I mean by that is that talking to Naveed and Bearclaw and even Darren and Matt, they're going to be able to fine tune things to actually make some of these other nodes maybe worthwhile or more beneficial. One of the Magic Paint Gloves ideas was on some of these other nodes that aren't as important, why not make the top node a little bit more of a percentage and then, incrementally smaller on the bottom. And then you could even do that on the really good nodes. So there's some balancing there that they can actually do. Don't forget that the older system, you were forced to take nodes that you absolutely didn't want, didn't need. And then there's a lot of variables here that I think could be rolled back into base stats, and then they can introduce some new stuff. I don't know what PGI's plans are. It'll be interesting to hear what they have to say about that, and of course what the Cauldron thinks as well. But overall, so much easier. Yes, a little bit more min-maxing. That's just the nature of the beast. That's also what the Mech Lab is. And you no longer have to take BS nodes that you didn't want. So keep that in mind. So overall, I like it. It's a good change. It's quick. It's functional. Unfortunately, you do pretty much have to still respec at least 1/3 of your tree for every single mech you play. Now, that being said, you can actually create templates. So, and that was also another thing that I think I saw. Speaking of which, if you have templates, you may have to delete your old folder. I don't know if that's a fix or not, but just keep that in mind. If you're having any errors of when you load an old template on here, you may not want to. You may want to go delete that folder and unfortunately start from scratch. I don't know. Just keep in mind, be an adult, do your own research, but you could create templates now. So there's that with the new tree. Okay, quirk display, informative update. For those that don't know, they basically included the quirks as far as baseline in the information. This was immediately apparent when I was streaming yesterday during the patch. I played a Highlander. I clicked this open. Oh, the Highlander gets X, Y, and Z as far as base quirks. I didn't have to go to MechDB to get that information. Fantastic. It's a quality of life thing that it's here. There's no other. Thank you, Darren, Matt, getting that done. About time. It's great. It's awesome. And for those that don't know what it looks like, again, here's a bigger version. So the top here is what the mech has as far as base stats. And then you've got the quirk plus skills. And why this is so important, you may ask, for those that maybe that new don't understand, is if I have a loadout on a mech, and on the old system, it was so convoluted. I didn't know. And so if you're thinking about switching up weapons, you can see quirks plus skills. All we pretty much got was this, right? Actually, it was all this together. And so you didn't know, well, is that energy range, what's going on here? What's the separation? And so it's so much easier now, just on a quick look, okay, it's got energy range, IS standard laser duration, which some of these you can recognize as just the reality of just quirks, but it's so much easier to be able to just look. So there's that. They've got new Platinum Collection mechs, and of course this is the Spider 5D, the Cicada 3M, the Jaeger DD, the King Crab on the IS side, Vapor Eagle 3, the Hellfire A, Kodiak 3, and the Incubus 4 on the clan side. Now, again, if you're coming in here, my thoughts on these mechs are, if you enjoy these particular chassis and variants, then this may be for you. If it's not, hold off, because they're doing a bunch of other ones. So, I'm eyeballing the Cicada 3M. I am personally, right? Because I love the Cicada, I love the 3M, so why not? I like the DD as well, so that would work. The King Crab 000 would also work in what I do it for. So I may pick up the Platinum. Is it worth it to you to get a basic hero mech version? Because that's pretty much what it is at that point, because it's gaining you the 30% C-build boost at that said point in time, which also stacks with premium time. That's what these are. If you're not interested in those particular variants, just wait. There will be more. And I've seen plenty of these around. Again, the Incubus 4 is known for the 6 ER medium build. The Veagle 3 is known for triple ER peep, ATMs, double peep with targeting computer, the Hellfire A, which is a really fun brawler build that you can do with LB and SRM 4s or 6s. And of course, the Kodiak 3. I don't really need to say anything more here. We do have a quirk pass here, and roughnecks have been altered slightly here, all of them. Adjustments, and again, that sort of rounds out, by the way. That's it. That's only new mech. The others are just adjustments, so keep that in mind to the mechs. They did remove the heat from the Frenzy. or they reduced it from 10 down to 5. I felt like that sort of caught me off guard here because I play the Frenzy and I didn't think it was OP, but okay, that's you know, and yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as the Timberwolf did get a set of 8 pass. The Warrant was one that again, still really sad. I don't know how to feel about that, but set of 8, Zeus, Warhammer, all of them, and then weapon adjustments. Now this is what we're going to talk about. Blue laser spam. It's still going to be a thing. It's still here. I don't see this changing even with this. This is increased laser duration from 1.25 to 1.35, basically reducing its DPS. And then a buff to PPCs with velocity. Now this isn't a bad thing because it's not cooldown, it's not heat, it just increases the velocity. But this doesn't stop I would say IS mechs from ER large spam. I mean, we see it for clans, but the Atlas Boar's Head out there and the Battle Masters and everything. The blue laser spam is still strong right now. I know there's a lot of thoughts on it as far as is it too dominant. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to decide on that one, but just keep in mind there was a duration change and a velocity change. Machine guns. This is a big one. Machine gun. Reduce critical damage multiplier from 9 to 7.83. Heavy machine guns from 7 down to 5.25. And then clan machine guns from 7 down to 5.6. And also ammo increase per ton for clan machine gun from 2,000 to 2,200 because Re needs more ammo. And clan heavy machine guns from 5 down to 3.75. Now, this is a pretty big adjustment numbers-wise, right? If you were to break this down percentage. I've yet to test this. I don't know how drastic, if at all, you'll notice it. Now, granted, this is critical damage multiplier, not crit chance or anything like that. So again, machine guns still sort of have the role in that. So I'll report back on this, but this is a pretty significant change. We knew it was coming. Cauldron had talked about some changes were coming. Has it gone too far? I don't think so. Maybe. I doubt it. Does it need to be pushed a little bit more? I would probably venture to say probably a little bit, but we'll see on that. So we'll report back. Missile weapons here. We got reduced heat pretty much across the board on SRM 2, 4, and 6s. Same thing with clan side. And again, I think that's to sort of compensate for maybe the current meta, which is the long range meta. And then, of course, we have targeting computers. This is a pretty cool one here. Intersphere targeting computers now match their clan counterparts in terms of laser beam, range, projectile velocity boost. IS targeting computers. Target Mark 8 now provides 11% boost to beam range from 10.5 and 40% boost to projectile from 37.5. So that's a solid just across the board. And another one, the Highlander Hero Heavy Metal Jump Jet Reticle Shake is now removed. Now, I have some thoughts on that in particular. We talked a lot about it on my stream. Should hero mechs get adjustments? Now this is this is twofold. This is in a period of time where hero mechs have been brought in line. In the past, Dragon Slayer, Deathstrike were definitely crossed over into pay to win time frame and sort of categories there for the longest time. Hero mechs aren't like that right now. I feel like they're in a good spot. Here's my thoughts on this. I'm actually okay with hero mechs getting unique abilities that other in the chassis don't have, or other mechs. As long as they're balanced. And the good news with this isn't a PGI decision. This is a Cauldron decision. So the heavy metal also has some things against it. It's got lower arms as far as both low arms. That's where its main weapons are versus the right side heavy other side of the Highlanders. Now, they could negate this and just give all the Highlanders just that. But the reason I bring this up and I put a little bit of emphasis on it is a thin line of going back into those pay to win. Now, objectively, if you look at it, that has something that no other mech has. Yes, it doesn't break anything. Yes, it's not an OP mech, but that's something that I think the Cauldron needs to be very aware of. And same thing with PGI. And just moving forward, just make sure it's balanced and it's not out of whack, and we're not going to get the Death Strike or Dragon Slayer like we did in the past. And for those that weren't there, literally for like 2+ years, the Dragon Slayer was the pinnacle of like it was the best mech in the game. So that's where the only hesitation I have. And I don't think it's a problem. I did use it yesterday. It was actually super nice being able to jump without reticle shake. Some other things to point out, someone brought up in my chat, which was, it'd be cool if maybe they took reticle shake and they made it a quirk, and then they could assign that on a per unique basis, or even potentially skill tree, but I think that gets a little wonky. Gameplay adjustments, this is a big one right here. Target spotter mark lifetime is reduced to 5 seconds from 10. Target spotter command can now be issued every 5 seconds. Now, this is a big one, and my thoughts on it. Good that it went from 10 to 5. I still don't think it's enough. But here's the reason. It's free wall hack. That's right. When you hit E and you spot, which by the way, I'd love to see just hit E and that's all I have to do. It's super annoying to have to move your mouse up and flick. That's another thing in itself. It needs to be a static ping. I'm okay with it being 5 seconds and it lasting on the map for 5 seconds if it only pings you at that location and you've moved on. But for a mech to be targeted for whatever reason, just by spotting mechanic for 5 seconds, let alone it's been 10, I still think is too far. If it's static, you can leave it up for 10. I don't really care. If it's 5 and it keeps tracking, I would actually be okay with this being reduced down to 1 second. And then a quirk being applied to like a Locust 1v or something where it can get additional time. But I still think 5 seconds is too long. I've never understood the methodology or the design principle around it. It's literally been wall hack. That's all it is. You can be spotted, go around a wall, anything, and it's going to literally track you on the map with no electronic equipment, no additional quirks, nothing. It's one thing I'm glad it got reduced. That's a good thing, but I still feel like it's too long, and target spotted should be a static thing. So that's my thoughts. Yeah, it's a free mini narc without having to equip anything. It's insane. So bug fixes, we have Ultra AC 20. Damage is now correct at 20 instead of 19.998. Trial mech, they fixed the torsos on the Mislinks and the Mislink Prime and Hatamoto, and that's been done. Let's see. Looks like they fixed some platinum stuff, and that's it. So obviously pretty large patch here. This is a patch long time in the works. Super exciting. Obviously getting work done in the game. Skill tree is a big deal. Event queue is a big deal. And kudos where it's due. This is a welcome patch. As far as the event queue, looking forward to playing it once the bug fixes are done and the skill tree, maybe some adjustments and bug fixes are fixed there for people saving. Yeah, I'm stoked. And hindsight's 2020. A few months ago when I did that roadmap video, this was not where I expected us to be, and here we are. And so kudos where it's done. This has been a great patch. I've been really enjoying it, and I look forward to seeing what's happening in the future. So that's your patch review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video. If you like this, make sure to click the like button. Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite feature? Did you get to play in the event queue? What did you think? Also, as far as the skill tree, did you find it easier, even though if you had to go back? Let me know. Again, I try to read all the comments and at least respond to those I can. So again, make sure to do that. And again, make sure to catch the stream live over at twitch.tv/NGNGTV. I'll have a link down below, and I hope to see you there. Until next time.